My team all work remotely. How does this kind of workflows benefit me? Well, for those of our customers who've implemented the Unify Hub remote working, they are still pulling their data from their online storage. And with what's happening right now in the world, I think you can clearly see that moving forward, we're going to have this hybrid lifestyle. We're not going to go back to the good old days of everyone being in the office, and we're not going to go back to the time when everyone's working remotely. It's going to be a hybrid. People are going to need to be in the office to get that high level performance, that high level grading, that the conforming. They need that high speed media. But you've got to be flexible enough to be able to go home at a moment's notice, or perhaps go off site and do some work. But your single point of truth is generally going to be in your office, in your premise. So with the remote workers, you still have to think about your data. It doesn't really matter where they're coming from. If they're coming in remotely or they're sat in the office, the data is still there. It still has the same importance and has to be handled like that.
Yeah, and I would just add to that for any company that's creating media, your product is this IP that you're creating, and it needs to be backed up, it needs to be archived, because that is really the basis of your company.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been involved with a number of companies over my 20-some years in the industry where the entire value of the company are the digital assets that they've created. So it doesn't matter where they're being edited, whether it be at home, in the office, on the moon, for all that matters. As long as they're backed up, that's what makes the big difference, because if you can't recover it, did you really ever make it?
Well, yeah, exactly. And it's deliverables, isn't it? That stuff is very, very valuable until it's delivered to the client and it's invoiced.
Right.
And then it's archived, of course, after that.
Right. And then depending on who owns it, it becomes valuable later on when you're going out to relicense it again later. If you can't get to it, then you don't have those additional revenue streams.
Yeah, absolutely. It's vital, that backup. And trying to recreate work can be a nightmare. And of course, if you've got editing staff sat around not doing anything because they can't work and you're offline, that's the problem, because really that is costing you their invoiceable time, not particularly what they're being paid to do the job, because you could be trebling what it costs to pay them to be able to get invoiceable time out on those projects. So 10 hours wasted could cost an awful lot more money than you think.
Yeah.
Or if it's a week because your data's got to be restored somewhere or put somewhere, it can get very expensive. And of course, that pushes production by a week.
Yeah.
So you may be letting people down in the future. It all sounds a bit doom and gloom, but backup and archive can be set up very simply and really give people a lot of peace of mind that their data's been taken care of.
Yeah. And just to expand on that, I mean, looking at the cost of a proper editor right now being in the neighborhood of about $3,000 a week. One day of downtime, that's how many hundreds of dollars right there? And if you multiply that out by an entire team, just one, maybe 2 days of downtime, you've almost entirely paid for a backup solution right there.
Yeah,